Welcome to the Vintage Hollywood Archive. Joan Collins is a legend through and through, best known for her role as Alexis Carrington Kilby on Dynasty, one of the cattiest, most fabulous women ever on the small screen. After decades of B-movies, guest starring roles, and chaotic love affairs, Collins was on top of the world. She is the last word in glamour and has perfected the art of longevity in a world of 15-minute fame. So, how does she do it? Why was Joan Collins known as Britain's bad girl? Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you're new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Vintage Hollywood Archive channel. Joan Collins, a passion for life. Joan Collins was Hollywood's new Elizabeth Taylor. There's no arguing that Joan Collins had a fascinating and unique life. Collins first became known as an actress and pinup girl in England in the early 1950s. She made the move to Hollywood in 1955 when 20th Century Fox signed her as a rival to MGM's Elizabeth Taylor. Before Dynasty, she was one of the greatest guest stars on 1960s television. In 1981, Joan Collins had been working in Hollywood since the 1950s, initially playing roles that are easy to imagine, first being offered to a more famous British-born brunette, Elizabeth Taylor. She scored her first big success, however, on the TV screen when she was cast as conniving Alexis Carrington on the American primetime soap Dynasty, which she helped turn into a ratings juggernaut. Dame Joan Henrietta Collins was born in Paddington, West London, and brought up in Maida Vale, and was, according to Collins, an idyllic one with plenty of love, comfort, and security. She is the daughter of Elsa, a dance teacher and nightclub hostess, and Joseph William Collins, an agent whose clients would later include Shirley Bassey, the Beatles, and Tom Jones. She has a sister named Jackie, who is an author, and a brother named Bill. Her sister became famous as well, and she left her own legacy. As the sister of actress Joan Collins, it would have been easy for Jackie to live in her shadow. Instead, she managed to become famous in her own right, carving out a place for herself in writing. Her father, however, was a strict disciplinarian and exerted a strong hold over her gentle mother, an attitude which came to irritate her daughters, who sought to rebel against it. Collins has said of her father that he was detached, cold, hard, critical, difficult, acerbic, and everyone had to please him. He said himself in his 1986 autobiography, A Touch of Collins, "I love my daughters, but I am not the kind of parent who deludes himself that his children are superior to everyone else's. I do not think of them as particularly outstanding in any way." Joan Collins was so pretty as a baby that her mother hung a sign on her stroller warning overeager well-wishers, "Do not kiss." During World War II, the Collins family hunkered down in tube stations with other Londoners while German bombs rained down on the city. Collins' mother died in 1962. Her father remarried and had another daughter 35 years younger than Joan. Before deciding to pursue acting, Collins went back and forth between becoming a private detective or a fashion designer. "I wished I was a boy during puberty," she said. "I hated the whole idea of becoming a woman. I was quite keen to become masculine. At least when I was acting, I could play a part." Owing to their father's profession, Collins and her siblings were exposed to the entertainment industry from a young age, and Joan became especially interested in acting and film. While still a student, she made her stage debut in a 1946 production of Henrik Ibsen's A Dollhouse, and at age 15, she enrolled at the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. The school has produced acclaimed talent like Alan Rickman, Robert Reed, Roger Moore, and Vivian Leigh. Joan Collins moved to Hollywood in the 1950s with dreams of becoming a star. She occasionally took modeling jobs to supplement her allowance, and through this work, she eventually caught the eye of a film agent. In 1951, she first appeared on screen, though in an uncredited role in Lady Godiva Rides Again, also called Bikini Baby. She first signed with the J. Arthur Rank Film Company when she was 17 years old. She first appeared in a film with a small role as a beauty contestant entry in Lady Godiva Rides Again in 1951. She was known for her beauty, and she went on to play similar roles in her early acting career. One of her biggest breaks was the role of evil Princess Nelifer in Land of the Pharaohs, directed by Howard Hawks, which helped her break into Hollywood. While filming, she was spotted by Hollywood executive Darryl F. Zanuck, and her British film contract was soon bought by 20th Century Fox. The typecasting persisted, and wanton teens gave way to torrid vamps, which she continued to play with brief respites for more than 5 decades, both on film and on television. During the 1950s, she gained a reputation as a popular pinup model. With her pretty looks and grace, she often found herself on the covers of magazines like Span and 66. She craved sexual experience upon entering Hollywood. At 17 years old, following the release of her first film, I Believe in You, Collins notes she had a strong desire to explore her sexuality. Summarized by her sister, Jackie Collins, Joan really led a blazing trail. When she came to Hollywood, she was a very forceful, dynamic presence and, let me see, how can I put this politely? I think she did her own thing sexually. She made waves for venturing into sexual scenes with The Stud. The Stud was a celluloid adaptation of her younger sister Jackie's sexy romp, in which she was seduced in a series of memorable locations, including on a swing and in a swimming pool. All of a sudden, the old actress was hot property again. As her career heated up, Collins became known as an instant sex symbol, oft-dubbed Britain's answer to Ava Gardner. Hollywood soon decided to import the actress across the pond. A string of roles as harlots and troubled teenagers followed, and Collins soon made a name for herself as Britain's bad girl. For the next 3 decades, she punctuated a series of B-movie roles with frequent television appearances and pin-up shoots. Arguably, her most memorable role was that of Alexis Carrington, the scheming ex-wife of patriarch Blake Carrington, on Aaron Spelling's primetime drama Dynasty and its follow-up television movie, Dynasty: The Reunion. In 1981, Collins was called to an audition for Dynasty, then a struggling primetime drama in its 2nd season, after actress Sophia Loren had turned down the part. She took the role of Alexis Carrington Colby, the vicious, vengeful ex-wife of patriarch Blake Carrington, played by John Forsythe. Ratings immediately shot up. Producers credited Collins with resuscitating the show's ratings. "We didn't write Joan Collins," said show creator Aaron Spelling. "She played Joan Collins. We wrote a character, but the character could have simply been played by 50 people and 49 of them would have failed. She made it work." Normally, television is where actors end up after film parts peter out, but Dynasty became a huge hit, establishing Joan as the vamp to end all on-screen vamps. Her portrayal of Alexis Colby lasted 8 years and pulled in a reported $120,000 per episode. "There is a bit of Alexis in me, the resilience, strength, and ambition," Joan has said about the femme fatale who cemented her reputation. And it was those qualities which stood her in good stead through difficult times in her private life. Her first marriage to British matinee idol Maxwell Reid the day after she turned 18 was not a good idea, and Joan knew it. The actor tried to sell her to a rich Arab for £10,000 just 7 months after their wedding, and she fled home in tears. The former Dynasty star, known for her glamorous Dynasty alter ego, described one naked scene filmed during her career as not nice. Joan Collins has declared that she hates filming embarrassing love scenes. She said that she particularly loathed shooting one naked scene. I was reading about Judi Dench, who says that she likes love scenes. I hate them. I've always hated them. They're embarrassing, and you have to be careful that your nose doesn't get in the way, that your lipstick doesn't get on the man's white shirt, that he doesn't squash your boobs. I had to do one love scene with an actor that I really disliked, and he really disliked me, and it was a clothless scene, and it was not nice. Asked who it was, she said of the late U.S. actor and her co-star in The Executioner, it was George Peppard. The actress told that she had foreseen the death of screen star James Dean, who died, aged 24, in a car crash. I didn't exactly date him, I went out with him, but I knew him as a friend, she said. I was in a car one night, and we were in a restaurant downtown, and we were going to go to see pianist and actor Oscar Levant, and I was going out with this guy called Arthur, and James said, "Come in my new car, I've got this new car." It was a red Porsche, and he said, "I'll race you, and we'll go to Oscar's, which is in Beverly Hills." So I got in the car with Jimmy, and I've never been so frightened. He went so fast, and through red lights. Through Hollywood, got to Beverly Hills in less than 5 minutes, and I got out, and I said, rather prophetically to Paul Newman, "God, he could kill himself in that car." And less than a month later, he did. She became a Hollywood fixture, driving a signature pink Thunderbird and racking up high-profile liaisons with leading men, including Dennis Hopper, Harry Belafonte, and Warren Beatty. A selection of largely forgettable roles followed, as the Londoner becoming better known for her roster of high-profile boyfriends. She has had her share of brief flings and steamy romances throughout the years, which included James Dean, hotel heir Nicky Hilton, Ryan O'Neal, and her former fiancé, Warren Beatty. Then for her repertoire. The Dynasty actor has been linked to some of the most sought-after men in the entertainment industry. But none of her past relationships were as infamous as her romance with actor Warren Beatty, who she was preparing to marry before his string of high-profile affairs came to light. Joan Collins wasn't madly in love with Warren Beatty, but believed they were very compatible. Collins and Beatty first met in 1959 at an upscale restaurant in Los Angeles. She was 26 and he was 22. Warren was 22 and insanely ambitious, she writes in her book. At 26 myself, I found him extremely endearing in a boyish way. He soon moved into my apartment. The Hollywood starlet admits that she was charmed by Beatty's good looks, but didn't converse with him that night. The following week, Beatty called Collins after managing to get her phone number from someone in Hollywood to ask her out on a date. Although she wasn't head over heels in love with Beatty, Collins felt that she and the up-and-coming actor were very compatible, which helped their relationship blossom pretty quickly. Not long after they started dating, Beatty proposed to Collins with a large gold ring studded with pearls. Eventually, the press learned of the couple's engagement and began making a big deal of their relationship. But all of the anticipation to tie the knot with the actor made her overlook the rumors that were circulating about Beatty's string of high-profile affairs. At the time, Beatty was linked to A-listers such as Natalie Wood, Diane Keaton, and Goldie Hawn. Although she was hearing about his relationships with other women, Collins stayed with Beatty and tried to ignore the fact that he had a wandering eye. However, after affair rumors between Beatty and West Side Story actor Natalie Wood resurfaced, Collins couldn't take it anymore and ended their relationship. Though Beatty's libido prevented him and Collins from exchanging vows, the Land of the Pharaohs actor believes that their relationship wouldn't have lasted if they had gotten married. "It was a sad ending, but I knew that our relationship of almost 2 years was doomed," she penned in her autobiography. Marriage to Warren would never have lasted because he simply loved the ladies too much. Although she loved him, Collins later realized that Beattie wasn't the one for her and was just a rebound who gave her the attention she felt she needed during that time. "Young as I was, I really should have known better," she expressed. Years after they broke up, Collins claims that she ran into Beattie at a Hollywood screening where he told her now husband Percy Gibson, "I still love this woman," but she had one answer to that: not a chance. Beattie, later linked with a string of women including Madonna, Britt Eklund, Goldie Hawn, and Elle Macpherson, has been confirmed by songer Carly Simon as one of 3 men portrayed in her hit You're So Vain. Collins went on to marry 5 times. During their relationship, Beattie wrote several love letters to Joan. The love letters between the two are now being sold off at auction. Hollywood star Warren Beatty used to call Joan Collins Bird during their ill-fated romance. In the letters, the Dick Tracy star tells his fiancée about a recent photo shoot she did and also about a friend's barbecue where he ate what looked like a 3-pound steak. He then goes on to call her Bird. Once her acting career settled down, Joan Collins turned to pen and paper to make her fortune. She has worked on both fiction and non-fiction books, many of which were autobiographical. Her fiction books entertained readers with romance, mystery, and sometimes murder. In 1998, she became a grandmother. Joan, being Joan, however, refuses to be known as Granny, and her granddaughter Miel calls her Dodo instead. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here.